Long time ago in ancient Africa, there were so many great kingdoms and empires that existed many years back that we are just discovering. One of which is the Malian Empire, which dates back to the 13th century. Let's talk about one of the greatest kingdoms of African history, the Mali Empire. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel and you love my videos, please support us by subscribing, like, share and invite your friends to the channel so our videos can go viral. Don't forget to drop your comment and reviews on each and every one of our videos you've watched. Thank you. Without much ado guys, let's dive right into one of the fascinating stories that talks about one of the greatest empires that ever existed in the history of mankind. The Mali Empire was one of the strongest and largest empires in Africa. It was established around the 13th century and lasted until the 17th century. It is estimated to have had 40 to 50 million people. It stretched from the present-day countries of Mali, Senegal, the Gambia, Guinea, Niger, Nigeria, Chad, Mauritania and Burkina Faso. But the big question is, who established this great empire? King Sundiata Keita in the 13th century united several small kingdoms to form the Mali Empire. King Sundiata was a skillful warrior, hunter and a great military strategist who was also known as the Lion King. Ancient Mali was rich in natural resources, and some of the resources that were present included gold, salt, copper, ivory and slaves. Gold was mined in two rivers, the Senegal River and Niger River. Salt was mined in the Sahara Desert while ivory came from elephants. The Mali Empire's location was strategic because it was in the middle of a trade route. It meant that they were able to easily trade with other kingdoms such as those in North Africa. It also meant that Malians influenced a lot of cultures. Under the rule of King Sundiata Keita, the kingdom expanded and grew. However, ancient Mali would later grow better under King Keita's nephew, Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa was a grandnephew of King Sundiata. He ruled the Mali kingdom from the year 1312 CE to 1337 CE. During his time as king, he expanded the Mali territory. He brought architects from all over Africa and the Middle East to design new buildings for the city. At the time, Mansa Musa was known to be a wealthy person, and according to modern history, he was the richest person that had ever lived. Historians have said that he was richer than anyone could ever imagine or describe. Today's billionaires such as Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos do not possess as much wealth as Musa had. You may wonder what made him so rich. Mansa Musa introduced a taxing system in the kingdom. Taxes were introduced to trade resources such as gold, and when they conquered a new city, due to taxation and the strategic trading route, ancient Mali was extremely wealthy and Mansa Musa became the richest person that ever lived. During this time, the kingdom of Mali was still relatively unknown outside of West Africa. All this would later change in year 1324 when Mansa Musa went on pilgrimage. Mansa Musa was known to be a wise and efficient ruler, and one of his greatest accomplishments was his commission of some of the greatest buildings of Timbuktu. In 1327, the Great Mosque in Timbuktu was constructed, and Timbuktu would later become a center of learning. At the end of Mansa Musa's reign, he had built and founded the Sankara Madrasa, which subsequently became one of the greatest centers of learning in Islamic world, and the greatest library in Africa at the time. The Sankara Madrasa is estimated to have housed about 250,000 to 700,000 manuscripts, making it the largest library in Africa since the Great Library of Alexandria. Some sources claim that during his reign, Mansa Musa conquered 24 cities with its surrounding land, thus expanding the empire greatly. Mansa Musa is estimated to have died in 1337 and would pass the title of Mansa to his son, Mansa Magan. Mansa Musa was very knowledgeable in Arabic and was described as a Muslim traditionalist. He became the first Muslim ruler in West Africa to make the nearly 4,000 miles journey to Mecca. Preparing for the expedition took years and work of artisans in numerous towns and cities across Mali. In 1324, Musa began his pilgrimage with an entourage of about 1,000 escorts. He also brought considerable amount of gold, some of which was distributed along the journey. Accompanied by thousands of richly dressed servants and supporters, Musa made generous donations to the poor and to charitable organizations as well as rulers of the lands his entourage crossed. On his stop in Cairo, Egypt, the emperor gave out so much gold that he generated a brief decline in its value. Cairo's gold market recovered over a decade later. Upon his return from Mecca, Mansa Musa brought Arab scholars, government bureaucrat. Among those who returned with him was an architect who introduced advanced building techniques to Mali. He designed numerous buildings for the emperor, including a new palace named Madago, the Mosque of Gao, the second largest city in Mali, and the still standing Great Mosque at Timbuktu, the largest city in the empire. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage boosted Islamic education in Mali by adding mosques, libraries, and universities. The awareness of Musa by other Islamic leaders brought increase in commerce and scholars, poets, and artisans, making Timbuktu one of the leading cities in the Islamic world during the time when most advanced nations from Spain to central India were Muslims. Timbuktu was clearly the center of Islamic sub-Saharan Africa. Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca brought Mali to the attention of Europe, and for the next 2 centuries, Italian, German, and Spanish cartographers produced maps of the world which showed Mali and which often referenced Mansa Musa. The first of these maps appeared in Italy in 1339 with Mansa Musa's name and likeness. Mansa Musa's wealth was so vast that historians and economists struggled to put an official number on it. What was surprising is that a historian of West Africa at the University of California said, contemporary accounts of Musa's wealth are so breathless that it is almost impossible to get a sense of just how wealthy and powerful he truly was. Mansa Musa's wealth was beyond words, an undescribable tally that towers above all others. Whilst economic historians are unwilling to put a figure on Mansa Musa's net worth, the internet is less fuzzy and spews out a multitude of numbers that may or may not be in the ballpark. The most popular number floating around tends to have his wealth at around $400 billion in today's dollars. However, it is just pure speculation. This figure could quite frankly be insulting to the true monetary value of his bank account at the time. According to stories, Mansa Musa passed on in 1337 during his return trip from Mecca. While the cause of his death is unknown, it is believed that he may have contracted an illness while on his journey. Despite never visiting, stories of his wealth reached Europe. The Catalan Atlas, created in 1375 by Spanish cartographer, depicted him wearing a gold crown, gripping a gold scepter, and holding an enormous gold nugget, which was likely exaggerated. Even though Mansa Musa ruled for only 20 years, he left a lasting impression on the world. He was an immensely wealthy man who used his wealth to benefit others. In addition to his religious pilgrimage, he built schools, libraries, and hospitals throughout Mali. His legacies continue centuries after his death in Mali's mosques, universities, and culture. After his death, his skillful administration left his empire well off at the time of his death, but eventually the empire fell apart. Well after his death, Mansa Musa remained ingrained in the imaginations of the world as a symbol of fabulous wealth. However, his riches are only one part of his legacy, and he is also remembered for his Islamic faith, promotion of scholarships, and patronage of culture in Mali. This was the exact story of one of the greatest kings and wealthiest men that ever lived the face of the earth. If you enjoyed the story and watched from beginning to the end, kindly do well to drop your honest comments in the comment section, rate our videos, and don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you.